My can call me Kim, the Oracle, the Digital Oracle, OTF, the fellow Madam Speaker, or Chanya One of Nigeria Info. And I will say yes, yes, yes to them all. I will be your host for the next 4 hours on your passionate, trustworthy, conversational radio. And I'll be flying solo. If you listen to what's happening in Abuja, I bet you caught Itodo on the show. When Itodo sent a message, it was not going to be like, dude, come on. But it's got to be what it's to be. The family couldn't make it on the morning show due to some emergency. But I'll be here, and good thing guest has joined me. So I will take you through some of the big story driving conversation in Nigeria. Joining me on the Roundtable today is Senator Iruegbu. Senator is a renowned journalist, and together we'll be looking at some big stories. Senator, you're welcome.
Oh, good afternoon, King. How are you doing?
I am fine and well. And
I'm good.
All right.
So somehow, but
feeling somehow whether under the weather or you just need more alerts. You know, when Nigerians say that, they'll tell you Nigerians' problem. Once there's a kind of alert you receive, you'll be energized.
Seriously. Seriously, it's like spirit.
You're welcome. You're going to do all right. It will come.
Right.
You put in the work.
Better.
Yes, sir. And talking about a lot, the federal government apparently one way of getting the labor union to share their thought for a bit is to negotiate a provisional salary increase for 6 months. If 25, then somehow it went on 35,000 for all workers. The most is a way to work that out is left for us to see. However, the Labour Congress and the T have decided to suspend the strike for the next 30 days. We're starting counting today, yeah? The federal government may incur additional 350 billion in wage bill in the next 6 months for the newly introduced allowance for federal workers, according to RIP. This came as organized labor agreed on this proposed nationwide strike for 30 days following the signing of a memorandum of understanding with the federal government after a marathon meeting that ended about 11 a.m. on Tuesday. The resolution followed until Monday. Yeah, the resolution followed over 5 hours of deliberation between the federal government and Labour at the Chief of Staff Conference room of the presidential villa. In announcing the outcome of the meeting to State House correspondent, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Simon Lalong, said the NLC accepts to suspend 30 days the planned indefinite nationwide strike due to begin today. And according to them, he said they shall be filled with the relevant court of competent jurisdiction 1 week as consent judgment by the federal government. However, the NSC President Joe Ajero, the union would revisit the agreement if the federal government fails to fulfill their demands. And according to agreement, the FG grants a wage award of 35,000 only to all federal government workers beginning from the month of September, pending when a new national minimum wage is expected to have been signed into law. And the agreement for it in part, well, there's no point there. They also accept to vote 100 billion naira for the provision of high-capacity CNG buses for mass transit in Nigeria. Provisions are also made initial 55,000 CNG conversion kits to kickstart an auto gas conversion program. Work is ongoing on the state-of-art CNG stations nationwide. The rollout aimed to commence by November with pilot across 10 buses nationwide. So with condition and the fact that the government has already disbursed palliative money and grant to state initially, it feels like, all right, let's get to work while negotiations continues.
At least thank God that federal government and the Labour were able to avert the industrial action, because even though the industrial action is meant to be in the interest of the masses who are reeling from the excruciating pain of the subsidy removal and hike of living, strike also adds to it. So just anytime the strike is called off, it calls for a sigh of relief. Yet, it still shows that there are a lot that is still needed to be done. I believe it's a temporary measure. I know people say, why is it any effort government make, people will try to criticize. No. We will have to keep on interrogating until we get better. There is this carbonated drink, the beverage called 7-Up. Why is it 7-Up? According to the story, that they kept on trying until
seventh time.
7 was the unlucky number.
Interesting.
So we keep on, if it doesn't, we say, okay, can we look at it this way? do you notice that there's something you're missing there? Because people ask, after 6 months, what next? And people will say, okay, this at 5,000 naira, the bag of rice almost 48 to 50,000. But they say back bread, like we used to say in this climate, than nothing. You know, so having that 5,000 not in addition to add and not having at all. But all these are still kind of what we call tokenism. And it's not meant to be a long-term job, because it's either you give Nigerian subsidy or you made the products available in a cheaper, so that these forces can bring it down. The high cost doesn't make it sustainable. And where the subsidy is to free money, so that the government will have money to do development projects. But if it ends up into private individual pockets and into jamboree palette, at the end, you are punishing the people, you are not getting the value for it. So government should be fast and alert, because I don't think there's any roadmap already on this, on what to do with subsidy removal, the money that we bring. And this is where I comforting the present government for the unplanned, the early announcement of that subsidy removal, because it was announced with any plan at all.
Thoughts, no
consultation, no, the economic team has not even been formed, security team have not been formed, administrative team has not been. The core nerve of administration not there. They are just at their inauguration, just announced it without knowing the implication. And now serious damage been done to the economy. So we are just trying to do catch up to try to ameliorate what has happened. So hopefully one of the silver lining there is that you said, they said, not you, but what you read and from the statement, it's a temporary measure, 6 months, that of which they will negotiate and come up with a new minimum wage. You know, and then there will be CNG buses. But what Nigeria actually want is let there be refineries, let this product be. Let's have so many refineries. There are both big ones and modular ones. Refinery, that's the smaller ones. You know, even states can take up and have their own refinery, producers serving their own local need. You see all these things will come within the Nigerian market forces. And like rail networks, roads, all these things will help, to reduce some of the different. But if you don't do it, if you don't have refinery, you keep on doing this, how long is it going to last? And you may end up just spending money on tokenism, no refinery, no good project, nothing.
Well, what the Senate initially, or what the Senate relayed to Nigerians, because formally the president has not said anything about the Port Harcourt refinery running in December. But we heard that from the labor union and said, okay, we're going to have that refinery running. We're also going to have Dangote refinery running also. That's on one hand. But how it's taking almost a decade to even get to the point of saying, one would start running in the near future. It's embarrassing to say the least. But you pointed out the issue of tokenism is also one to look at, because we're looking at the 300 and what now? That will be accrued. The government will have to spend this amount of money. It tells you that 315 billion additional. And one isn't sure.
And you're not sure if that money will actually be going, because sometimes it's just like when government told us they spend 20 billion or what, feeding school children who are at home during COVID. When it comes to this distribution of money or so, one has to be careful, because sometimes government agencies or officials use it as an avenue to look. Are you sure that the number, because there are a lot of ghost work.
This is Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info. 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 is Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info. This 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 is Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info. is Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info. This 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 is Nigeria Info.
Even when you check out most of Abuja street, there's no even designated track.
For the light rail.
Bicycle track.
Oh, okay.
Bicycle track. Like if you go to, they have pedestrian track, they have bicycle track. So that you can supplement, people want to use bicycle. It's a means of, they can use it. Then intercity rail, metro rail. So people may not even have need. Then there can be what we call mass urban transit, transverses across cities, and what we call tram. You know, is a combination of rail and box mix of. If you have all these multiple means of transportation, people maybe use their car when maybe on occasion. Weekend, you have their family to visit another family, have a gateway, can use vehicle. So again, the strength of economy, purchasing power, we have strong purchasing power, whereby the citizens have their cash enough, are getting enough money. It may not even be a problem. Money is flowing, people are spending, are getting back. But the problem we're having now, to even get money hard. And then the small you have, it doesn't, the one you even think you have money. Let's say before you have $1 million, you think, okay, I have $1 million, I can solve this.
Yeah.
By the time you spend one or two things, you'll be asking yourself, how did this money go? You find out that $1 million is nothing again. So that is the problem we have. The structure of the economy is not helping. The economy is not buoyant. The citizens are not actively engaged. The economy is not feeding itself. The purchasing power level is low. Then our transportation infrastructure is rudimentary.
I mean, that's something we need to start working on. Our population is increasing.
Yes.
You know, exponentially. The facilities and infrastructure that we need to cope with expanding population.
We don't have any business exporting crude oil to re-import them, except when we are selling to clients who want to buy crude oil. The one we're supposed to use, we're supposed as a country over 63 years with brilliant mind, supposed to have more than 15 refineries in this country. Refining more than capacity of what we use. Then the electricity. if we have power and there's constant electricity, we won't be complaining all this. Because people won't, the generator economy will die naturally. In fact, 50% of the food consumed will go. So that's why we are having all these problems. And our leaders are not even thinking about it. Because their own is, we need money. We need more money to spend. We need more money so that when people visit us, we have to do, when we need convoy, we have money to do. When we want to travel, we have money to, those allowances, they don't want to touch it. They don't want anything. The only thing masses, please endure, please suffer. You ask them, what austerity measure as government officials are taking? They are even talking about increasing their own salary in the means of Nigerians to endure and suffer. That's wickedness.
All right. Well, maybe that resonates with a lot of Nigerians as to how it is, because people are tightening their belt, and there's a lot going on in the country. The fact that the economy itself is has shrunk. I can understand the frustration of the average Nigerian about the situation of things. We'll get to see how this T-Day suspension of the strike holds up on the part of the NLC, because they continue to interface with the government to be sure that this promise they are making to federal government workers, which we'll get to see how state also will embrace it, because some states, the extra burden of paying extra is, we know some states are not viable. So it's left to see how they also try to appease workers in the state and the people resident there. But this is just for a fraction of people who work in Nigeria. Not all sectors captured in what the federal government is offering. And then for people who say, oh, NLC should back down. Well, NLC is a labor union for this demographic that they present, and their needs have been met at this point in temporarily, until some other development gives them the reason to go back on the street. We'll get to see how that pans out. Here is something that concerns everyone: federal government workers, private workers, students, businesswomen, the informal sector. This whole talk about the CNG buses coming in. And we're looking at the future of, are we going to gravitate away from the use of fuel to a future where perhaps gas will become more appealing? And what's the guarantee that that is not also going to trigger the gasket? Because we have huge deposit of gas in Nigeria that we're tapping enough. Let's take you to even Jonathan's administration and the deal they had to build gas plant and all of mine it. We're not there yet. So as much as we're saying, oh, CNG will come, we start using this level of gas, we know that if it becomes a lot more popular and more people are gravitating towards that direction, we might hit another cup at the end of the day.
I think Nigeria, there's something, we have what I call fad mentality.
What's fad?
Like something that is reigning, like a new admiration for new things.
Something that is trending.
Yes, that's why we lack maintenance culture. Do you remember during Jonas Shoppy, there was this Aero5 buses, and where are they now? That's what's wrong when you're talking about CNG buses. It's a new thing. People, in fact, the buzzword, people want to talk about it. They'll mention CNG. It sounds so cute. It's something that is trending. People want to talk about it. Government's official to sound bombastic, and that
because government is singing.
I know.
People want to embrace it.
I'm arriving somewhere.
Yeah.
Then maybe someone is about to get that contract, make it kill too. So someone is to be awarded that contract. They say CNG. How sustainable is that? Will it be another those kind of project that is started and later it goes out of fashion, it's abandoned, because have we done post-term of the past intervention that have been done, and what was recently some government official called me for advice on some project to do. Yeah. That's why I say there have been similar projects that are ongoing from what you are. If you are to advise this new administration, I counted how many, about 6 or 7 of similar projects, and they are not do post-mortem, analyze, find out the one that is working, the one that is not working, the ones that need to be scrapped. Those that are working, why are they working? The ones that are not working, why are they not working? And what needs to be done before you think of bringing, and then know whether there's any need for any new one, or to just
well, the truth is we need an alternative.
I'm just going to calibrate what I say. Let us not fall into the danger of the fad. CNG. Yes, LPG, we need alternative, but let's not in the think, okay, there are no other ways to also support that alternative. Thinking is the only alternative. That's why I'm saying multiple alternatives, because we are one-way traffic. I mentioned means of transportation that can be multiple. So in this CNG buses now, have we been tapping on interstate networks? Even these states that, apart from Lagos, that's also buoyant enough, can start from the capital city. They can start developing it. We have Abuja Metro that started on Bala Muhammad. What happened to it? That is even behind it. One of them just there. The town supposed to be there.
The new minister visited and making all kind of
I hope
promises.
that it does something. Not what they came to our street that is okay. They came that they want to repeat and broke the road and left it there, and rain came, created serious gully, and this street that will kill.
They will repair it. Don't worry.
I hope come on time and repair it. So what I'm saying now is that Lagos government, the CNG is okay, but let's not get carried away by fad. And like you said, let it not create on
because we're
market
talking
forces, because they higher demand.
Exactly.
Cost.
The government is saying that they're going to allow some part coming to allow for this, and people will be trained. I know that the Innocent and other people are saying they're going to have more of this CNG conversion.
Because even they are converting generators now to
so like you said, it's a fad. It's the catchphrase. The government is talking about it. I'm sure there are people, auto service centers already thinking, let's train people to do this.
Do we even need to rely on generator to be converting it to? What I'm saying, we need alternative to generator, so that we don't get carried away with this fire. That's why sometimes, because this is creating cost for people. Why we leave the permanent solution? We should be create multiple means of transportation. Focus on less power. Have we paid that? Why are we not getting regular power supply? Because we get constant power. We don't need half of fuel and diesel is gone. We may not have need of general economy. We may not need of converting to CNG or whatever.
But which one sounds to you like a short-term goal in terms of the now? We've been in this country. I've spent decades, a long time in Nigeria, enough to know that there's no magic one.
See short-term goal, it's a permanent thing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's short. That's what I'm saying. Fad. The only thing I'm trying to say is to call our attention to the past project we started like this and get carried away and get bamboozled and get so excited without asking critical questions. I'm only asking critical questions. I'm not condemning it. I'm just telling us, let us put our thinking cap. Let tell God, because sometimes government is there, genuinely they want to help, but they don't know everything. That's why we have to be active citizens to call their attention that, look, don't make sure this temporary solution is not a permanent project. So that while you are using this as a short-term gap, you are putting in place permanent measures so that we can also grow. This doesn't... Other advanced countries, we want to be, when you travel, you come back, you become angry with the country, and you begin to ask yourself, sometimes I land in a country, I begin to ask, what does these people have? They don't have anything, yet so much is working.
You just came back from Europe, so I can understand what
I've been traveling. I travel. That's how I feel, and I can't help myself feel.
I understand. There's always that feeling when you visit some of these countries, and you just wonder why it's impossible.
Some of these African countries, I'm telling you, let's leave Europe alone. This African country you will take for granted. You go, you see some with their bigger resources. You still see some other, some efficient management in what they have than we do. Yes, you come here, see a lot of word flamboyancy, but you see a lot of mismanagement, a lot of chaos in the midst of this flamboyancy. So that's why I'm saying, yes, CNG, good bad measure, temporary measure, but this shouldn't be our...
Indeed.
But it should be part of it. A long time we are talking about green. It should be the future, but not the future.
Yeah. Is this CNG in line with the green economy? Compressed natural gas and the liquefied natural gas. It burns less than the pollution. Like cars without their converter. All right. And then also there's also another thing to look at here when it becomes popularized. The right people who are fixing it, are they properly trained for it? Sure that we're not having dramas with the vehicle. Aside from the fact that you have to move in with selling. You know, it's
the person that told you want to come and do I was afraid. I said, hold on first.
You want to be very, very sure.
Honestly.
Well, if the government, I don't want to even use subsidize the conversion because government does not want to hear any extra responsibility of subsidizing. But if the part's coming a bit more reasonably priced, the conversion rate will be a bit more priced. But like you mentioned, I know what you mean. We're marinating in ourselves in another short-term thing that will be a long-term project. It will not take us away from the circle, that loop.
That's what I'm saying.
I get your point
And we
exactly.
keep on moving
Because what we
circle.
should do is move away from all of this or find
This
stronger
can just
money.
be addition,
I
and
get
people
you.
have options.
All right, just tuning in. It's Senator Iruegbu. We here on the roundtable as we look at some big stories driving conversation. I know people complain about the audio not being strong on our YouTube and Facebook. The tech guys are on it. You can go back and see if the video is back on YouTube and Facebook at Nigeria Info ABJs. Leave your comments there. You can send it via WhatsApp also and let us know what you make of our conversation in the studio. Now, let's look at some comments quickly before we go to the next story. Comrade Chris Ezocha from Madalas. Good afternoon, the Oracle. Subsidy removal, the government acted without putting modalities in place to cushion effects. Furthermore, we're proving in error by not making our refineries functional. To a larger extent, we're grouped in the dark by not doing the needful. Worse still, our Commonwealth has been substantially mismanaged without proper accountability. Let us be wise and should stop chasing shadows at the expense of substance. Mary in Gwagwala says, gas is at today selling 1,000 per kg. I just bought it, says Mary. So we get to see how the gas might even respond to all of this thing.
Yes.
The LPG, and then we'll get to the compressed natural gas. The more the demand, like you say, it's simple economics.
It's a simple market
Demand,
economy.
supply,
Higher demand, the higher
tilted. So it might feel like it's a
price
cheap
and
alternative
higher,
now. When more people are headed in that direction, we'll get to have the demand supply issues. Mary, thank you very much for that. As actually captured by your guest, the reality is not economic planning and policies of the government towards serving those in government and citizens. That's why there's so much competition to be in government through election or by appointment. And Oludade Abiodun says, for those who are looking for loopholes to get rid of the president, the Chicago State has received this certificate. We're not talking about that yet. Let's move on. Welcome to the studio, Mr. Senator. I've been waiting patiently for them to invite a senator into studio. I beg, palliative never reached me. No go give my own. Okay. Nentok from Gwarimpa. His name is Senator. That's what his father gave him. But who knows, in the near future, he might be a senator, Iruegbu. Exactly. You never can tell. Yanovich from Maitama says, quite a policy analyst cannot define economic phenomenon more than an economist. No government policy reduces inflation, but it keeps it on stagnant level for a while. Having said that, we can buy a product in dollar and sell the same product in naira, expecting inflation not to rise. We're talking about, okay? Okay. Rate of increase in price over a period of time. One, why crude oil increase and PMS also increases. Why countries that buy crude oil and refine them don't increase the price of PMS in their countries. An analysis was given earlier today. Shared a vital point on the 5 billion naira for 36.1 state and 35K, that is for 1.8 million Nigerian workers. We need economics, not government policies, to bring the Nigerian economy from the woes that has been holding it. Have a nice day, he said. And hey, man, please, I would love to know the name of the music. Okay, we'll leave that for now. Good afternoon, Kim and the Senator. My issue with Labour is the fact that they're only fighting for themselves. If 35K is added for only federal workers, what happened to state local government workers? These 3 tiers of government have more workers under them than the federal government. What happens to them? Joe from Guags. And this is a very long one. I'm not sure I can get to the end. It says, good day, awarding Nigeria Info, Amiable Kim, Dr. Am from London. For the first time, I'm feeling that maybe the federal government is misled. The measures contained in NLC-TUC agreement will certainly not alleviate the current pain of removal of fuel subsidy. As at this time, is to offer solution instead of blame. I wish to use my little experience in a country that had similar situation when I once lived to advise the federal government immediately do the following. 1, sending out signal of transparency and accountability in respect of savings from removal of subsidy in a separate subsidy trust account at the CBN instead of sharing every month at the fact to stay off or give it as cash palliative. 2, off-well and petrol stations must automatically be proclaimed by Mr. President as CNG conversion center, conversion kit freely issued to them. 3, each station must provide at least 5 commercial taxis BA, cost of conversion are paid by government. All public servants from the use of official car to cut public expenditure to be seen by citizens that the government share in pains. And he also said the president must direct all employees or employers of labor, banks, oil companies, colleges, etc., to go to the nearest to obtain funds for the purchase of staff buses for their workers. Such fund will be at single interest rate or 50% paid from the subsidy fund. All banks that subsidize such funds or just such funds to either employer the commercial transport are given tax relief equivalent to such sum advanced at the end of the financial year. And he put out 2 more points. All commercials must be converted to the use of CNG first before private vehicles. And these steps are taking 70% of the commercial cars will use CNG within 3 months, and the cost of transportation will go down drastically. So he's saying the monies that we are saving from subsidizing, put it in a subsidy trust fund and channel it towards all of these things at this point in time. All right, Dr. Ahmed. Dr. Ahmed is in London, so speaking from that perspective, not bad.
Do we actually have enough gas to?
That's one thing.
This thing we are saying everything convert, CNG convert.
And
then
besides,
when we start demanding for enough gas, is it replacing another?
One thing Dr. Ahmed left, Dr. Ahmed, I know you're listening, is the fact it's not as if we have like a subsidy money sitting somewhere in the crude account or sovereign wealth fund. It's half the time road to subsidize. And so it means that we're no longer borrowing for that. If you're saying, okay, continue to borrow and put it in a subsidy trust fund and use it, channel it towards this. There is no subsidy fund except we source it, earn it, borrow it, and channel it. You know, the government has been put up the propaganda, we saved this amount of money. Technically, it is not a saving. It's just that.
It's just like you're supposed to, you do buy, every time you buy ice cream, or you buy yogurt, or you buy, then decide, okay, I'm not going to buy yogurt again. That's that money you normally spend on yogurt. You're no longer spending it. You may decide, okay, instead of buying yogurt, let me use it to add to pay for my utility bill.
But if you were borrowing to buy the yogurt, if you are borrowing to buy the yogurt, you're not going to say, okay, I'm going to borrow, I won't use it to buy yogurt, I'll now borrow it to pay other utility bill. You're just borrowing for that cost.
Yeah, you stop borrowing to buy to that cost. And moreover, the money you also use to service the debt. That means that money you're using to service the debt, you're no longer
exactly.
Use it. So in essence, there will still be some.
It just saves you the pressure.
Yes. Pressure and also it's because they are using money to service.
Well, true.
Sometimes the money to service debt was almost half of our annual budget or even more. So it's much. So,
all right. Like this caller quickly before we join the news. Hello.
Hello, Kimberly.
You're welcome.
I'm Senator Abuja from Gwagwaleda.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Just we have all general music. We have reggae version, Nigeria reggae version. We have calypso. We have three-side version of Nigeria. We should have an economy model of Nigeria version that will address our peculiarity. It is unreasonable for oil-producing countries, but we are buying oil at exorbitant rate. Step has shut down the economy. People are paying. This is a calamity. The international organization, IMF and whatever, not design our economic model. It is catastrophic. If those in power, they do not reverse this policy of subsidy removal, know what will happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abubakar. Kechuko Odibe on YouTube says, okay, we've addressed the audio content. Thank you very much, Indianola. Well done, Kim Damola. Damola, I see you. Thank you very much. And Chin also, Joseph, good day. Watching from Onitsha, Anambra State. Thank you very much for that. Charles F. Young, see you also. I'm glad to know that the audio quality is great on our social media platform. So feel free. Let's hear more thoughts, at least one more before we join Bevan for the news. 0700 951 0000 or 009 5974 869. Hello.
Yeah. Kimberly, and your guest.
Good afternoon.
Yes, you'll be a senator of the federal government of Nigeria very soon.
Okay.
My name is Barrister Hassan.
Welcome,
Yes, just briefly, I know you don't have time. Yes, you see, what to know?
Hello, Barrister Hassan. Okay, Barrister Hassan, your connection is not helping our situation. Please call back if you can. Hello? You're welcome.
Bless you, my sister. Senator.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. There's one friend then when we were in university, we used to call him senator, the ordinary senator. But this one, a real senator. Don't worry, one day you become the senator of Federal Republic of Nigeria. If you become a senator.
All right, Elder. He is not here to advocate for you.
Wait now. You know, Okoro at that time, shouting here and there, enjoying everywhere. They want to become president, to become this. At the end of the day, when you become a governor, you have to go and demolish the only that woman and kill only child. So you could not be able to do the needful what he
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying that one. That senator should not do type of thing. So now let me go back to the drawing board. Kim, subsidy. Who do it like this? Honestly, the country is not happy. People are just suffering and smiling according to Smiley. And many people that are not even benefiting from government, they are supporting the government negatively. I hope they should do something before consume everybody. Because people are not laughing anymore. Right. Honestly.
Thank you, Elder. We need to run for the news. Bevan is seated for the news at the top of the hour. Stay with us.
Not play politics with security.
Let's talk about
This is Nigeria.